Feel the weight of your body sinking into the softness beneath you, the gentle rise and fall of your breath, the quiet hush of the night wrapping around you like a silken cloak. Somewhere far away, a breeze stirs the leaves, a distant fountain trickles like liquid silver, and the scent of moss and ancient stone drifts through the air. You are safe, you are warm, and as my voice carries you deeper, let every word melt away the day's thoughts, until all that remains is the story and the soothing darkness of sleep. Our story today begins in the heart of an ancient castle, where time itself has settled into the cracks of weathered stone. Can you feel it? The cool, rough texture of the walls under your fingertips? The way the air carries the faintest hint of damp earth and burning hearth embers? This castle has stood for centuries, and if you listen very, very closely, you might just hear its stones murmuring secrets from long, long ago. Long ago, when the moon hung heavy over the turrets and the world outside was cloaked in silence, the builders of this castle placed something special within its walls. A coin, a charm, a whispered wish for luck. They believed that these small treasures would keep the castle strong, and perhaps they were right, because even now, if you press your ear to the cold stone, you might hear the faintest click of a hidden coin shifting in its secret cradle. The wind sighs through the arrow slits, carrying with it the scent of distant forests and the soft rustle of ivy climbing the walls. And as you breathe in slow and deep, you can almost imagine the hands that laid these stones, the voices that once echoed here, now nothing more than a memory woven into the castle's bones. Somewhere in the castle's heart, there is a courtyard, a place where the stars peer down like watchful guardians, and a lone fountain sings its endless trickling song. Drip, drop, drip. The water moves in slow, hypnotic circles, catching the moonlight like scattered diamonds. And if you listen, really listen, you might hear the fountain humming an old, forgotten melody, a lullaby from a time when knights and scholars walked these halls. The air here is cool, fresh, carrying the faintest scent of lavender from the gardens beyond. Let your mind wander there now, to the edge of the fountain, where the water's gentle rhythm matches the slowing beat of your heart. Drip, drop, drip, drop, each ripple pulling you deeper, each breath slower, softer, but perhaps you'd rather rest by the fire, in the great hall where embers glow like sleepy eyes, and the scent of aged oak and beeswax candles lingers in the air. The flames crackle, pop, in a slow, soothing dance, casting flickering shadows that sway along the walls. And if you watch them long enough, those shadows might just take shape, forming the silhouettes of those who once gathered here, feasting, laughing, telling tales of their own. But now, the hall is quiet. The fire whispers, the stones breathe, and you drift deeper, deeper, into the castle's embrace. Somewhere behind the tapestry of a forgotten queen, there is a door so old that even the castle has almost forgotten it exists. But if you were to brush your fingers along the stones just so, you'd feel the slightest draft, a breath of air escaping from the cracks. And if you were to press, gently click, the door sighs open, revealing a passageway so narrow that the walls seem to whisper against your shoulders as you step inside. The air here is cool, damp, carrying the scent of time itself, aged parchment, dried herbs, and the faintest trace of candle wax from centuries past. Listen, can you hear it? The soft scuffle of your footsteps, the distant drip, drip of water seeping through the stones. And if you pause, just for a moment, you might catch the echo of a voice, a scribe perhaps, or a servant long gone but still lingering in the silence. The passage twists, turns, and then, a faint glow. Moonlight spilling through a tiny arched window. You step closer, And there below you, the castle's gardens stretch out like a dream. The night has painted everything in silver. The roses, their petals closed in sleep. The hedges standing like silent sentinels. And the fountain, yes, the same one from before, its water now a ribbon of liquid starlight. A breeze stirs, carrying the scent of jasmine, of damp earth, of night-blooming flowers that open only for the moon. Somewhere, an owl calls a soft, low ho before the night swallows the sound once more. You could stay here forever, leaning on the cool stone ledge, breathing in the garden's perfume, letting your thoughts unravel like threads of mist. But wait, what's that? A flicker of movement between the hedges, a shadow, a memory, or perhaps just the wind back inside now. Down another corridor, this one lined with books, so many books, their leather spines cracked with age, their pages whispering secrets to anyone who dares to listen. At the far end, a single candle burns, its flame barely more than a trembling bead of light, and there, in the chair, a figure, faded, almost transparent, the castle's old librarian. He doesn't look up as you approach. His fingers, pale as parchment, trace the lines of a book only he can see. Ah, he murmurs, though his lips don't move. You've come for a story, and perhaps you have, but not now. Now the candle flickers, the shadows stretch, and the words on the pages blur into dreams. Let go now. The castle holds you. The night embraces you. Every breath, slower. Every sound, fainter. The fountain, the wind, the turning of an ancient page. All of it fading into silence, into sleep. High above the sleeping castle, where the stars press close enough to touch, the old clock tower keeps watch over the night. Its face is worn, its numbers faded, but still the great brass hands move, slowly, steadily, marking the passage of hours no one counts anymore. Tick, tock, can you hear it? The sound is soft, muffled by time, as if the tower itself is whispering the hour. And if you listen even closer, beneath the ticking, there's something else, a hum, a melody. The tower's gears, worn smooth by centuries, have learned to sing. It's not a song with words, not anymore. But once, long ago, the keeper of the clock would wind it every evening, humming as he worked. Now, only the tower remembers, and as you listen, tick-tock, your eyelids grow heavier, your breathing slows, until the rhythm of the clock becomes the rhythm of your heart, and the tower sings you deeper into the quiet. Deeper into the castle we go, down a set of spiral stairs, their stone steps smooth beneath your fingertips. At the bottom, a door older than the rest, its wood blackened with age. It opens without a sound. Inside, silence, but not an empty silence. A waiting silence. The chapel is small, its vaulted ceiling lost in shadows. The air smells of cold wax and lingering incense, though no candles burn here now. Moonlight spills through a single stained glass window, painting the floor in fragments of blue and gold. There are no pews, no altar, just stillness. And yet, if you stand here long enough, you might hear it. The echo of a hymn sung centuries ago. A single voice rising and falling like a breath. It's not sad, it's not lonely. It's just a memory, waiting for someone to remember. One last corridor, one last door. Heavier, older. The air here tastes of iron and old roses. Inside, the darkness is thick but not unkind. Moonlight slips through a high, narrow window, falling across a suit of armor, not on display, not polished for show, but resting, as if the knight who once wore it simply stepped away. The breastplate is dented in places, the gauntlets are scratched. This armor was lived in, fought in, breathed in, and now it waits. You reach out just once and brush your fingers against the cold metal. For a moment, you swear you feel a heartbeat, but no, It's just the castle, breathing, sleeping, dreaming like you. Let it all fade now. The tower's song, the chapel's whispers, the night's silent vigil, they will keep watch over you. But you can rest. The stones murmur their blessings. The night holds you close. And sleep, real, deep, endless sleep, is here. Beyond the night's chamber, down a sloping passage lined with moth-eaten tapestries, lies a round room where the air hums with the ghosts of looms. Can you smell it? The faintest hint of flax and dye indigo. Madder root, woad still clinging to the stones after all these years. Moonlight slants through high, slender windows, illuminating dust motes that swirl like lazy fireflies. And if you listen, click-clack, click-clack, the echo of wooden shuttles darting back and forth, weaving threads long since turned to cobwebs. The weavers are gone, but their patterns remain faded scenes of hunts and harvests, their stories fraying at the edges. Reach out, touch the wall. The stones are warm here, as if the castle remembers the press of hands moving fabric, the murmur of voices sharing secrets over spinning wheels. A breeze stirs, carrying the scent of lavender from the sachets they once tucked between linens, and suddenly you understand. This isn't just a room, it's a lullaby in cloth. Every thread a breath, every knot a heartbeat. Close your eyes now, let the rhythm of phantom looms rock you. Click-clack, click-clack, deeper, softer, a whisper of cinnamon, a sigh of dried apples. The pantry shelves are still crowded with jars, their glass fogged with age, their contents turned to dust in memory. Run your finger along the shelf. Feel the grooves worn smooth by generations of hands reaching for honey, for salt, for the last precious pinch of saffron. There's a ledger on the table. Its pages flutter as if just turned by invisible fingers. The ink is faded, but the care remains. This was a sacred place, a place of measured abundance, of storms weathered, of winters survived. Breathe in. That's not just spice you smell, it's comfort. The certainty that no matter how deep the snow, the castle would always keep its people fed. The jars hum with the memory of full bellies and contented sighs. Let that warmth settle in your own stomach now. Heavy, safe, the door creaks just slightly as you push it open. This room is smaller than the others, softer. The walls are painted with faded stars, their gold dimmed by centuries. A rocking horse sits motionless by the hearth, its mane real horsehair, worn bald in patches by generations of small, loving hands. But it's the crib that draws you. Oak, darkened with age. The carvings along its edges show animals sleeping, foxes curled in dens, birds with heads tucked under wings. Lean closer. There, on the headboard, initials scratched with a knife point. A +E inside a lopsided heart. Some child's secret. Some love that outlasted kingdoms. The cradle rocks, just slightly. Not from any wind, but because some promises don't end. Some watches don't stop. You lay your palm against the wood. It's warm, like a cheek freshly kissed goodnight. You've walked every hall now, heard every story. The stones hum beneath your touch, not with magic, but with memory. This was never just a castle. It was a home. A living thing built from the tap of a mason's hammer, the sigh of a nursemaid rocking a babe, the clink of a cook's ladle against a pot. And now, it offers you what it offered all who came before. Rest. True rest. Where nothing is lost. Nothing is forgotten. Only held. So breathe out now. Let the castle's walls breathe with you in and out. The stars outside the windows blur. The scent of lavender fades. And somewhere between one breath and the next, you slip into the oldest story of all, the one where you two are home. A spiral staircase appears where none stood before narrow steps curling upward into velvety darkness. The stone is cool beneath your bare feet as you begin to climb. One step ... 2 ... 3. With each turn, the air grows lighter, scented with parchment and the metallic whisper of telescope brass. Then, the door at the top is already open. Moonlight pours through a domed glass ceiling, painting silver circles on the circular walls. An enormous telescope points skyward, its lens catching starlight like a liquid jewel. But the most beautiful thing, the notes. Hundreds of them scrawled on scraps of vellum, pinned to every surface. Some in careful script, others in frantic charcoal. The blue star pulses every 37 breaths. The moon's dark seas shift when no one watches ... Tonight, the sky breathed my name ... A breeze stirs the papers. They flutter like moth wings against your arms as you approach the telescope. When you peer through it, the stars are points. They're threads. Golden strands weaving patterns too vast to comprehend. You blink ... And in that darkness behind your eyelids, the constellations rearrange themselves into faces you almost recognize. The telescope's brass is warm, as if someone just stepped away, as if they'll be back any moment to show you, look what I found for you. The castle has one last secret. Beneath the wine cellar, behind a barrel that rolls aside too easily, there's a crack in the wall, just wide enough to slip through. The air changes instantly damp and mineral cool, tasting of wet flint and secrets. Then ... sound, not dripping, not echoes, but music. A subterranean river, black as polished obsidian, glides past moss-covered statues of forgotten gods. The river takes them all, takes their stories, keeps them safe. When you dip your fingers in, the water doesn't feel cold. It feels like remembering you find it where all paths end at the castle's quiet heart. An unmarked door, oak bound in iron, no lock, no handle, just ... a keyhole. And when you kneel to peer through, you see yourself, not reflected, not imagined. But there, asleep in a bed hung with familiar tapestries, the nursery's rocking horse visible in the corner, the astronomer's notes scattered across your blankets, and you realize you've always been here. The castle wasn't showing you its memories. It was showing you yours. The door creaks open, not to let you out, to let you in. No need to walk through now. You're already there. The river hums your name. The stars stitch you into their tapestry ... The stones murmur, rest little one, we remember, we keep, we hold. And as the last waking thought slips away, you finally hear it, the song the castle's been singing all along. Not in notes, not in words, but in the space between breaths, the hush before dreams, the sound of ... home. The great oaken doors part without a sound, revealing a hall frozen in time. 100 plates gleam in the moonlight, each set with tarnished silver and goblets of Tunisian glass. The long tables groan under the weight of spectral feast loaves of bread that will never stale, roasted pheasants still steaming, bowls of fruit preserved at the perfect moment of ripeness. But the chairs are all empty. Yet as you walk between the tables, your shadow stretches long across the flagstones, and you notice place cards. Faded ink on yellowed parchment, Lord Alistair of the Western Vale, Lady Eleanor of the Silver Glen, the minstrel Fiora, Master Physician Lynn. Your fingers brush one card. The ink warms beneath your touch, and for half a heartbeat, you hear laughter, the clink of glasses, a lute's bright melody. Then silence again. At the head table, one chair remains pushed back, as if its occupant just rose to give a toast. A single wine glass stands there, half full with liquid that still glows ruby in the moonlight. The scent of rosemary and slow-roasted meat wraps around you like an embrace. Somewhere a bell chimes, not to call guests, but to release them. The feast will wait. It has always waited. It will always ... wait. The heat hits you first, a dry, shimmering warmth that makes the air dance. Then the colors. Hundreds of glass orbs hang from the ceiling, some clearer as water, others swirling with blues and golds like captured sunsets. They turn lazily in some unfelt breeze, casting prismatic stars across the soot-blackened walls. The furnace still glows, not with fire, with memory. You can see him, the glassblower, his silhouette bent over the work table, rolling a molten gather on the marble stone. His breath puffs out invisible clouds as he blows down the pipe, shaping a perfect sphere. When he turns, though no one is there, his hands, though you see nothing, offer you something. A tiny glass bird, its wings thinner than parchment, its hollow body holding a single note, the sound of someone you loved laughing, preserved in glass. You reach for it, and the studio fills with the scent of burning applewood and the sound of 1,000 delicate chimes as all the hanging orbs begin to sing, each one a memory, each one a life, each one waiting to be held to your ear. Through the herb garden, thyme brushing your ankles, lavender dusting your knees with pollen, past the broken sundial, to the smallest door you've seen, yet no taller than your shoulder. It opens before you knock. Inside, one room, one chair, one bed, and walls made entirely of ... keys, iron keys, brass keys, silver keys blackened with age. They cover every surface, dangling from pegs, piled in baskets, strung on ropes like grotesque wind chimes. The keeper isn't here, but her presence lingers in the scent of chamomile tea and the indentation on the feather pillow. On the table, an open ledger, third cellar, storm key, returns at high tide. East tower, key of size, do not use after dark. Rose garden, key of forgetting, missing since winter. Your fingers hover over the pages, then a sound from under the bed. A soft jingle. When you kneel, you see it. A tiny key, gold, warm, with your initial etched into its bow. And suddenly, this one opens nothing. This one is for locking things away, for keeping them safe, for remembering to forget. You slip it into your pocket. It weighs nothing. It weighs everything. You have walked every corridor now, ... You have held all the ghosts, the banquet hall's missing guests, the glassblower's fragile memories, the keeper's endless keys. They are all part of you now. Just as you're part of the castle, breathe in lavender and old books. Breathe out dust and candle wax. Let your heartbeat slow ... Let your thoughts unravel. The stones murmur your name. The stars weave you into their tapestry ... And the last thing you feel before sleep takes you is the gentle, inexorable pull of a place that has always been ... home. At the end of a forgotten hallway, behind a tapestry of a hunting party frozen mid-chase, you find a door that ticks. Not like the clock tower's steady rhythm. This is a skittering, clicking sound, like a dozen tiny gears spinning at once. When you press your palm to the wood, you feel the vibration of delicate mechanisms at work. Inside, the air smells of oil and polished brass. Moonlight spills through a domed skylight, illuminating creatures, a silver fox with quartz eyes forever mid-leap, a peacock whose tail feathers fan out in gilded arcs, each eye made of a different colored gem, a hare balanced on hind legs, its ears twitching, actually twitching as some hidden spring slowly unwinds. They are perfect. They are motionless. And yet, when you step closer, the fox's head turns, just slightly. Just enough to make you question whether it ever moved at all. On the workbench, tools lay scattered as if just set down tiny screwdrivers, jars of minuscule gears, a magnifying glass smudged with fingerprints. Then you see it, an unfinished piece. A human figure no taller than your hand. The face is blank. The hands are open, and in its chest, where the heart should be, an empty space, waiting for a key, for a wish, for someone to wind it up, ... and let it live. The door is unremarkable, the knob turns too easily. Inside a room that shifts when you blink. One moment, a child's nursery, stuffed animals piled in the corner. Next, a warrior's austere cell, sword leaning against the bed. Then, a scholar's den, books stacked haphazardly on the floor. The only constant, the bed. Canopied in gauze that billows without wind. And on the pillow, impressions. Not heads, not faces, just ... dents. Where dreamers once lay. Where you once lay. The sheets are cool when you touch them. They smell like... what do they smell like? Like the soap your grandmother used. Like the perfume you wore on a first date. Like something you can't name but have always known. When you lie down, the canopy above swirls with constellations that weren't there a moment ago. Not stars, but moments. That time you laughed until your stomach hurt. The day someone held your hand just to hold it. The night you cried yourself to sleep and woke up stronger. The bed hums. Not a lullaby, a reminder. You are here, you are always here, you will always be here. You find it by accident. One moment, you're walking down a familiar corridor. The next, a door you've never seen. Black wood, no keyhole, no handle. Just ... a surface so smooth it feels like touching still water. When you press your palm to it, the wood drinks in your warmth. Then breath, not yours, not the castle's, but something else. Something waiting on the other side. The door doesn't open, but it leans, just slightly, just enough to make you wonder, is it keeping you out or keeping something else in? A choice. Walk away and the castle will fold around you like a favorite blanket. Stay and end. What happens if you stay? The wood pulses. Once, twice, a heartbeat, or a countdown. No need to decide now. The door will wait. The castle breathes around you. The stars hum in your bones, ... All the ghosts you've gathered, the glassblower's song, ... The keeper's key, the clockwork foxes half turn. They whisper, rest, and so you do. Back through the halls, past the ticking menagerie, into the bed of lost dreams. The canopy closes around you. The constellations pulse, and as you drift into the deepest sleep yet, you realize the door wasn't a test. It was an invitation, one you can accept whenever you're ready. The spiral staircase descends unexpectedly beneath your feet, not stone now, but wrought iron steps singing softly as you descend. The air grows cooler, drier, carrying the scent of vellum and ink. At the bottom, a circular room where blueprints float suspended on invisible threads. They turn slowly like mobile stars, each parchment covered in meticulous sketches that shift when you're not looking. A tower becomes a bridge, becomes a ship's hull, becomes a rib cage. In the center, a drafting table. Upon it, a single unfinished sketch. The lines glow faintly as if drawn with phosphorescent ink. When you lean closer, you recognize the curve of your own eyebrow in an archway, the whirl of your fingerprint in a spiral staircase. The quill lies beside it, nib still wet, waiting for you. A whisper stirs the floating blueprints. Every castle needs its architect. The door is made of living branches. They part for you without sound. Inside, not a room, but an endless midnight garden where flowers bloom in shades only visible in dreams. Petals pulse like jellyfish. Stems hum against your fingertips. And the scents, like lullabies, turn to perfume. There, kneeling in the black soil, a figure in a wide-brimmed hat, gloved hands bearing something small and glowing. They don't turn as you approach, but the freshly turned earth forms words where you step. This one grows forgiveness. Here, the seeds are made of second chances. Water this plot with tears to harvest courage. When you crouch beside them, the gardener's sleeve brushes your wrist, and suddenly you're holding a bulb warm as a living heart. Yours to plant, says the earth beneath you, but not tonight. Tonight you bloom. You stand again before the black door. It's different now. Not wood, not stone. But your reflection in liquid darkness, warped and perfect. The key in your hand, when did you take it out? Fits the lock, when did the lock appear? A breath, a turn. The door opens not outward, not inward, but through. To a place that is the castle's first stone, the castle's last breath, the castle's endless, echoing heart. And there, what do you see? Who do you see? The door closes behind you. Or perhaps it never was. You understand now, don't you? The banquet's missing guest was always you. The glassblower shaped your memories. The keeper's keys were made for your hands. The castle wasn't haunted, it was waiting, not for a visitor, for its architect, its gardener, its keeper. The stars above the towers aren't stars. They're the glow of other castles, other keepers, all dreaming together in the vast dark. You could build new towers now, plant gardens of light, fill rooms with ticking, singing, breathing wonders, or you could rest, just for a little longer. The choice has always been yours. The story has always been yours, so breathe in. Ink and soil and starlight, breathe out. Home, home, home. And when you're ready, really ready, you'll know exactly which door to open next.